Hey guys, it is Christian here. Today I am doing my top 20 worst animated films of all time. If you're new here, please like and subscribe and tell me what are your top 20 worst animated films of all time. We're gonna disagree, but that's okay, but just don't bash opinions in the comment section. So, this is just all the trashiest garbage animated movies I've ever seen in my life. So yeah, with all of that said, let's get started. Coming in at number 20 is the Bee Movie. Yep, the Bee Movie. This movie is cringeworthy. It's cringeworthy. It's really bad. The writing is terrible. The humor is not good at all. I never bought this premise of a bee dating a human. Like that's crazy. Characters are unlikable here. Jerry Seinfeld and Renee Zellweger are phoning it in. The animation, it does look okay, but it does look cheaper and more low budget compared to How to Train Your Dragon or Kung Fu Panda or Shrek or Madagascar or something like that. And even Trolls, it just feels low budget to me. So yeah, this is probably one of my least favorite DreamWorks animated films. So this movie is just cringeworthy in every way, and it's really bad. Really bad. So yeah, this movie just doesn't need to exist. Coming in at number 19 is Pocahontas 2, Journey to a New World. Yep, this is one of the Disney direct-to-video animated sequels, and this one is god-awful. I don't even love the original Pocahontas that much, but the writing is obviously awful. The animation is lazy and lame. The characters are unlikable. The songs are forgettable. Pocahontas and the animal characters are not good. Radcliffe is not good in this movie. It's not funny. And the original I'm not even a huge fan of, which is probably why it's lower, but this is one of the worst out of the Disney direct-to-video animated sequels. So yeah, this movie is just garbage. Had no reason to exist. So yeah, I just couldn't get into this movie at all. Coming in at number 18 is the Queens Corgi. Yep, the Queens Corgi. This is definitely the worst animated movie I have seen in 2020 so far. Overseas, I think it came out in 2019, but here in the US, it came out in 2020, I think. And yeah, this movie is awful. The writing is not good at all. The animation is cheap and lazy. The characters are unlikable, especially Rex and all the other corgis. It's not funny, and all the Queen's Corgis are dead, so I guess they're trying to make this personal for Queen Elizabeth II. Disgraceful. There's political figures in this movie like Donald Trump, and there's not really a reason to put him in this movie because he's literally just a cameo. He's a cameo, so there was no reason to put him in this movie because he's just, if you're not going to have him be a big part in it. So yeah, it's just horrible. I hate this movie. Coming in at number 17 is Madagascar 3, Europe's Most Wanted. Unpopular opinion time. But I really hate this movie, actually. The animation does look really good, and the villain is really good, and I really love the villain in this. At the same time, though, the villain is basically Cruella de Vil. You don't learn anything new about Alex, Gloria Melman, or Marty. The writing is just terrible, and the humor is unbearable, especially when Marty's like, da 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 circus, da 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 da. I don't even know the rest. I don't really care. That scene was just some of the worst humor I've ever seen in an animated movie. The new characters, you don't really learn anything about them. They're just there. The penguins are just spies. Well, they're spies anyways, but here you don't learn anything good about them. So yeah, this movie's just not good. Coming in at number 16 is Mulan 2. Yep, Disney direct-to-video animated sequel number 2. Yep, this one is just as bad. This one's horrendous. I love the original Mulan movie, and this is just a disgrace. This movie is just embarrassing. The animation is ugly looking. This movie is not empowering. It's just disgusting. And the characters are so unlikable. Mushu is the most despicable character. The songs are not good at all. The writing is obviously terrible. The humor is obviously unbearable. And so yeah, I think it's worse than Pocahontas too. And it's just not good at all. Well, and you don't really learn anything new about Shang. So yeah, this one just has no reason to exist. Coming in at number 15 is Ice Age Collision Course. Yep, Ice Age Collision Course. If you saw my Blue Sky ranking, this was at the very bottom, and you can obviously tell why. This movie is not very good. It's easily the worst Ice Age film and the worst Blue Sky movie. The writing is horrendous at times, horrendous the entire time. The humor is unbearable. The animation looks okay, and Scrat is really funny. But that's about it. You don't learn anything new about Manny, Diego, or Sid, except Sid gets a girlfriend for some reason. Buck is annoying. The characters are unlikable. And you guys, the Dino Birds are like they're in a Land Before Time sequel. And you guys all know my hatred on Crash and Eddie. They're my least favorite characters in the franchise. And they're so annoying and so stupid. They even say that they're stupid themselves, and they're correct. So I hate this movie so much. Coming in at number 14 is Strange Magic. Strange Magic. Yep, this movie is horrendous at times. The animation looks really nice looking. And for the most part, I think the character designs are hideous looking. Roland, who is our villain, is basically like 3 villains. Those being Hans from Frozen, Gaston from Beauty and the Beast, and Prince Charming from Shrek 2 and Shrek the Third. So, unoriginal characters, there we go. Characters are unlikable, the writing is terrible, the humor is unbearable and disgusting, and it's just remix pop songs, modern pop songs, well, not really modern pop songs, but they just took great classic songs and just made them into bland pop tunes. So, this movie is just a disgrace, and I just hate this movie with a burning passion. Coming in at number 13 is Legends of Oz, Dorothy's Return. Yep, Legends of Oz. Yeah, this movie is just embarrassing. This movie is a disgrace because I love The Wizard of Oz. I love the original movie. The animation doesn't even look finished here. It doesn't even look finished. It's just hideous looking. And the characters are unlikable. The classic characters we used to love in the original are just terrible. The writing is bad. The animation is ugly. The humor is not funny. And don't get me started on Puppet Glinda. That thing is gonna give me nightmares. The villain is bad. The voice acting is terrible. Everything about this movie is just disgraceful if you love Wizard of Oz like me. So yeah, this is the worst thing to come out of Wizard of Oz. So yeah, this movie is awful. Coming in at number 12 is Hoodwinked 2, Hood versus Evil. Now, I wasn't a huge fan of the original. I think the original was okay. It had really clever writing and good characters. The animation in that movie was absolutely atrocious, though. This movie is even worse than the original. The animation here is a slight improvement from the original, but still not good. It's still cheap. It's still ugly. The voice acting, Glenn Close is phoning it in, and I wouldn't think I'd have to say that about Glenn Close, but she's phoning it in. The voice actress who plays Red Riding Hood is bad. Martin Short is bad. Bill Hader and Amy Poehler as Hansel and Gretel is terrible. The animation is ugly. The writing is horrible. The humor is unbearable. The characters are unlikable. And this movie is just probably one of the worst animated sequels I've ever seen in my entire life. So yeah, it's just terrible. Coming in at number 11 is Escape from Planet Earth. Yep, Escape from Planet Earth. Yeah, this movie is disgusting. This movie is gross. They have a 7-Eleven in this movie. Like, what the heck? The character designs are terrible. The animation's cheap looking. The writing is atrocious. The humor is unbearable. The characters are unlikable. It has every generic trope. So, and it just had no reason to exist. Well, it's probably bad because it was in development nightmare. So, yeah. And they have a 7-Eleven in this movie. Like, what the heck were they doing while they were making this movie? This movie is just disgraceful, which is why it's probably higher than Hoodwinked and Collision Course. So, yeah, it's just bad. We are in the top 10 territory. My number 10 is Playmobil the movie. This movie is... The animation in here also looks very good, but the movie is just terrible. The characters are unlikable. It's generic. It has very forgettable songs. It's the Lego movie. It's basically the Lego movie, but worse. And the writing is terrible. The humor is unbearably bad. The villains here... It has an all-star cast, and all of them are phoning it in. And I don't even think the characters know that they're even toys. Just because this movie doesn't even look like they're actual toys. They just look like a full, just unoriginal animated movie. The animation is nothing new, but it's good looking, but it's nothing new. And it's just generic looking. And this movie is just a really bad cash grab, which should have never been made. Yeah, I hate this movie. Coming in at number 9 is Shark Tale. Yep, Shark Tale. This is definitely my least favorite DreamWorks animated film. Will Smith is awful. Another animated DreamWorks movie with Renee Zellweger. Also bad. Jack Black's character is so annoying. The animation is horrible and ugly looking. The writing is terrible. The humor is unbearable. The characters are unlikable. Everything about this movie is terrible. Angelina Jolie isn't really good. Robert De Niro plays like this mobster, gangster, mafia person, and it's just horrible. And this movie is a waste of a Martin Scorsese. Yeah, you guys know what Martin Scorsese I'm talking about. I'm talking about the director of Goodfellas and The Wolf of Wall Street. That's the one I'm talking about. He's awful in this movie. Yeah, so this movie's ugly, unfunny, and just overall a terrible little animated movie, and definitely the worst DreamWorks movie. Coming in at number 8 is Beauty and the Beast, Belle's Magical World. Yep, Disney direct-to-video animated sequel number 3. Number 3. This movie's awful. The background animation is okay, I'll give it that, but the animation here is just ugly looking. The writing is terrible. The characters are unlikable, especially the Beast. And the humor is not good. The writing is terrible. I think I already said that. And this movie actually just doesn't make sense, because how is he a beast again, and how are they objects again? At the end of the first movie, they turn back into humans, so how are they a beast, and how are they objects again? Was he mean to someone, and did he get transformed again? Like, what happened? And I really don't know. This movie just doesn't make sense, and it's awful. And I love the original Beauty and the Beast, and this is just disgusting. So yeah, I hate this one. Coming in at number 7 is Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2. Yep, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2. This one it's very colorful. It's a very colorful movie, but the character designs are just ugly. They're hideous. The writing is obviously awful. The animation is obviously ugly. The humor is not funny anymore. The characters are unlikable. The animation on the food, with the exception of the strawberry, are just ugly. And this movie, Chester V is one of the worst villains ever. So yeah, this movie is just a disgrace to everything that's good about animation. And the first one is overrated, but it's good. I think the first one is okay, but this one is total garbage. This one is trash. Gosh, and I hate this one so much. You don't learn anything new about these characters, and it's just awful. Coming out at number 6 is Arctic Dogs. Yep, Arctic Dogs. This one, ow! I just facepalmed myself. Yeah, this movie is just garbage. It was my worst animated movie of last year, and you guys can probably see why. Just look at the movie. It's just hideous. And if you haven't seen the movie, which is good, the animation glitches out. This movie needs a patch to fix the bugs. The characters are unlikable, especially Swifty. I just want to shoot Swifty in the face. The animation is horrible. And the writing is terrible, and the humor is just not funny. Not funny. This movie is just everything that's wrong with animation today. And luckily it didn't make the top 5. It was close to making the top 5 though. So yeah. We are in top 5 territory, and my number 5 is the Hunchback of Notre Dame 2. Yeah, Disney direct-to-video animated sequel number 4. Number 4. 4 Disney animated sequels on this list. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this one in my opinion is the worst one out of all of them. The characters here have not been this more unlikable. The gargoyles are more annoying than they were in the first movie. I actually really liked the first movie. The gargoyles were terrible, but I actually really enjoyed the first movie. The animation is ugly. The characters are unlikable. The writing is terrible. The humor is unbearable. The songs are forgettable. The villain is terrible. Everything about this movie is just awful. It's easily the worst direct-to-video Disney animated sequel in my opinion. A lot of guys might think Mulan 2 and Pocahontas 2 are the worst, but I think Hunchback is the worst. So yeah, this movie's garbage. Coming in at number 4 is Norm of the North. Yep, Norm of the North. This one is just embarrassing. Like, why does this exist? The Lemmings are a ripoff of the Minions from Despicable Me, and I love the Minions, and they're just disgusting characters. Norm is unlikable. All the characters are unlikable. The writing is atrocious, and the humor has not been this more unbearable. The animation is some of the ugliest animation I've ever seen in a movie. This is definitely my least favorite Rob Schneider movie. The animation is so ugly, and don't get me started on the Arctic Shake. The Arctic Shake, yeah, it's a polar bear twerking Rob Schneider movie, and the Arctic Shake is just terrible. So overall, hate this movie with a burning passion. We are in top 3 territory. Yep, my number 3 is the Emoji Movie. The Emoji Movie. This movie is just trash. The animation is so ugly. Like, what is this animation? Every actor is phoning it in. Even Patrick Stewart. And he had Logan that year. And Logan's a great movie. This movie's garbage. The writing is terrible. The humor is terrible. The characters are terrible. Especially High Five. I just want to shoot High Five in the face. And the constant bombardment of shameless advertising is obnoxious. This Candy Crush, Just Dance, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, you name it, you see it in this movie. This is not a movie. It's just a 90-minute commercial. And a bad one at that. Smiler's a Joy ripoff. Everything about this movie is trash. Coming in at number 2 is Where the Dead Go to Die. Yep, I had to watch this movie to do this video. What I did is I tried to watch all the worst animated movies I can, and this was one of them I chose to watch. And terrible film. I hated this movie. Just look at this poster. It's absolutely ugly and horrifying. The one word to describe this movie is horrifying, and not even in a good way. The animation is ugly. The writing is terrible. The characters are unlikable. And every single thing about this movie is horrifying. And it's just horrifying. This movie almost made number 1. I swear to God, this movie almost made number 1. It's just garbage. I hated this movie with a burning passion. I hated it. But coming in at number 1, you guys probably all saw this coming, but it's Food Fight. I was debating whether I should put Where the Dead Go to Die at number 1 or Food Fight at number 1. And it was a really long decision. Like, I didn't even know which one to put at number 1. I ultimately chose Food Fight because it's my second worst movie of all time. The animation is hideous, ugly. Charlie Sheen, yep, Charlie Harper from 2.5 Men. He's phoning it in. Every single actor's phoning it in. Even Christopher Lloyd. Every character is unlikable, especially Daredevil Dan. The animation is ugly. The humor is just disgusting. It has so much product placement like Charlie the Tuna, Twinkie, Mrs. Butterworth, and also Mr. Clean, which I didn't even know he made food products. Sunshine Goodness was awful. Lady X was awful. Christopher Lloyd. It's because of characters like him. I just want to run and scream for help. That's why I'm proud to call Food Fight the #1 worst animated movie of all time. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please comment, thumbs up, subscribe. Tell me, what are your top 20 worst animated movies of all time? I would love to see your list. So thank you guys so much once again, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day. Bye.